So in previous tutorial I told you how I created this part, and now what I'm going to tell you, I'm going to create here this part I already created and index.jsp. JSP is just the front end, so let us see how we can create this front end. So let me mention some HTML here because it's HTML page. So as you can see, IDE will automatically move to that part. Then let me create one style here. So I will copy this part and I will tell you what is the significance of this, because I'm mentioning this directly. I'm not going with direct part here, which is I'm going to mention. I'm mentioning style sheet here. So, okay, now I did. So this is my style sheet. If you want to add title here, let me add title bar here also. Title is basically Java mail client. Okay, that's it. I'm going to add. So these are the color thing I'm adding, and this is just a style sheet. The main part starts after this. So let us see what is the body I'm going to use here. So let me add body tag here, because all the things are inside only body part, not your anything part. So I'm just adding this part. Then I need one form. Then why I needed a form? To create one post action to field, then some carry forward field, everything I'm going to add here, form field. So let me add form. Will close, but let me add some more attributes here. Form is basically contains action, mail client, then method, post. So my method is post. So ignore this mail client because it's showing me the typo error. Then let me add some form actions here, and I will tell you what is the form actions, these things here. Okay, so I already created this part, so I will tell you what is the significance of these form actions. So this is the centering, or we can say styling part. I will tell you there are some errors also it's showing. Mail client, these things. So I will tell you what is this thing. So this is mail client, and what I'm doing here is here is started JSP thing. So I'm accessing the request.get attribute message part first. So as my h3 to print the message here, or we can say putting the message here. Now table is started inside the form tag. First is email, to put the email whom I want to send that email part, email to part. Then subject holding part, the text, subject and placeholder. So then I'm adding some text area 2,6 for email body. Then trtd with some input type submit, and I'm mentioning here value. So I will tell you what I'm going to do here. So these are the all things of JSP. As you can see, this tag is again JSP tag for printing message, and creating some value of submit. This part op go is just basically I'm going to create one class inside this. So these are the all things, and I will tell you we are going to invoke in JSP class also, and how I'm accessing this part I will tell you later. But these are the all things I use here. So this is it for the JSP part, and I'm accessing the button and I'm setting its value is basically just what method I'm going to use here is the this mail client that op/go, which is I'm going to use here, operation go. So I will tell you what is the significance of this in the later part, but first let us see what is the basically functional requirements I created. But what is the servlet part here? So if you know front end and back end of the web pages, so I am creating here dynamic page. It's not static, it's not showing only the information I had typed there. I'm going to create some responsive thing here, like clicking on that go button, it will send the mail and everything I'm going to use here. So this is not only the static thing, I'm going to create some dynamic thing. For that purpose I need a backend. Backend is just basic logic, as HTML and CSS having not exactly programming language, these are some front-end languages, or we can say scripting language, or for the visualization part. These are not exactly like, they cannot add some, there are not mathematical symbols in that also. So for that API part, or for that purpose I need any language. So here I am using Java. So what is the Java servlet? Java servlet is technology to create web application. Servlets is an API which provides the interfaces and classes to connect the HTML and some backend service or backend database, anything you can do. So servlet is an access both interface and classes. Servlet is an interface must be implemented by creating any servlet. So you have to create one servlet, and according to that you need to create interface. But servlet is also acts as a class to having some capabilities of servers which responds for incoming request. So if you know how the servlet's working or how the internet's working, it's basically on request and response. One client gives the response and it will give the response and everything request. So these are how the network works. So servlets are an important part in this. Not only the servlets, there are different things also now, like some JavaScripting things also, then server Python also nowadays used for that purpose. So these are the different things we can use. So servlet is an web component that deploy on server to create a dynamic web page. So here is the servlet part, actually how it creates. This is the client and this is the server part, and for this purpose it will request the server, response is generated at the runtime and response sent to the client. So how this is works, actually it's depend on your server side. So my servlet program deploys on the server, and client will receive only the JSP pages or index pages. So I'm deploying only the localhost server, but if you want to deploy on online server, you can use anything, AWS cloud or anything you can use. Then here request dispatcher in servlet. So what is the request dispatcher? Request dispatcher is the interface provides the facility of dispatching any request. So basically if you want to check any link directly from the Java, like you put submit button and do you want to, like you want to find some another page, you want to go to another page, for that purpose we are using request dispatcher method here. So we are using here two methods, forward method and include method. So as I told you, and that get request method in my JSP page, get attribute method, is just basically for that forward part also, and it's maven again Java X servlet. As you can see, that's a maven dependency. So this is the forward method, and forward is for forwarding that to port and including to that including the same port. Then let me tell you servlet important part: HTML, CSS, JSS front end, Java servlet program as backend, and web XML for the control flow. But here I am using pom.xml and web XML. There are two different things here. Pom is for properties and web XML for the control flow for whole web app. So let me move to the IDE now, and let me create one client which is basically mail client. So as you can see here, I am mentioning my client as mail client. So let me copy this part. Then what I'm going to do, go to this Java. I'm going to create here one package. So why I'm developing another packages, because it's very important for oops concept. You can create different packages and you can use that later. So let me create one package here. I'm mentioning as mail. So in this mail package, I'm going to create one Java class name as mail client. So this is it, and index.jsp, what I'm going to do is I just want to invoke that, or I just want to import that. So for the importing is very simple. Just go to this. Let me show you how I'm going to import this. Okay, so I am importing this. Let me capitalize this CLT because everywhere I capitalized. And let me go to refactor here and rename here as mail clt refactor. So hope you can see now. Okay, I create another thing here. So let me delete this. And let me delete this again because I changed the name. Naming is very important here. I just want to create mail ctl, not mail, because it's client, not I misspelled that. Okay, now mail ctl is done. And let me mention here mail ctl, not the mail clt. And later I am going to create that op-equal method. I will tell you what is the thing. So this is it, how I'm going to do. So before proceeding with this, let me add some form.xml file here, which is basically very useful dependency I'm going to add here. So let me add one dependency, which is basically java mail dependency 1.4.7 version. So let me tell you how I'm going to do this. Go to any dependency ended part. I'm going to this part. Let me paste this. So this is the mail dependency. You can check from the internet and just hit this and it will resolving dependencies. It will resolve it automatically. Then I'm going to add another dependency, which is basically java xgb, which is basically for the dependency purposes. Let me add this and let me sync this again. So it will sync the dependencies automatically. So java x mail is for the mail purpose, for creating any mail application. So instead of downloading libraries, or we can say java jar files, I can deploy this, and this is the latest version. You can directly download this. So this is for mail, and let me okay. So this is our index.jsp, and now let us create some mail in part here. So in the mail client, what I'm going to do is let me extend it to the HTTP servlet part. Means we want this HTTP servlet. So as you can see, just I added this and it will automatically. So let me do one thing here. Input start. So no worries about importing libraries. So, again I'm adding some annotations here. So adding annotations is very useful while developing this. Import java x servlet dot annotations dot star. And what I'm going to add is here is web servlet, not any simple web servlet. In this web servlet, what I'm going to mention is here is this mail ctl. So it will be helpful for me to mention that this is a mail cell client web servlet. So I'm going to create here one serial version UID, which is very crucial for creating any mailing part. So private, again static. I will tell you why it is static. Final, it should be long because I'm creating here serial version UID, which is basically user ID, not more. L. So I created this part. Then let me create one public static final string, and here is the part of op go is equal to, I'm mentioning as the same. So if you go to this part, now you can check here operation is now successful. So let me go to the main client again. Then let me create one constructor here. Let me mention constructor. Mail ctl. This is my constructor, and I'm nothing mentioning. I'm adding the super here, super keyword to create auto-generated constructor. This is just auto-generated. You can use alt insert also here to create anything here. You can say constructor. So constructor already exists, so you can create auto-generated constructor, or you can choose your anything. Constructor is just to pass your everything here, like HTTP and everything. So hope you understand this part. In further part, I'm going to create application with some doest methods and everything. Hope you understand this part. And in further part, I will tell you the JSP basics and SMTP basics also, which is basically simple mail transport protocol. Thank you.